rare scene footage. Actually, today in 1 hour at 6 o'clock in Cinema Arta, I invite you all to come and see a preview of one of the best actually material, rare footage that me, Mr. Pintilie, and very few people saw it. It's a press conference from '96 for his film Too Late. It's an extraordinary material that says everything about the personality, about the fury, about who Lucian Pintilie is as a man and as a filmmaker. I give the word to Tudor because he was working with Mr. Pintilie in '95 for Too Late to say a few words about it. But before that, I'd like to thank, of course, it's also thanking to my colleagues from Transylvania Film, Dan Lupo and Ileana Cecanu, because they were really instrumental in making this project real. And it looks fantastic. We are very pleased with it. I thank again to Mr. Titi Popescu, who was with us in producing this, because it's definitely not a cheap project. It's an expensive one, and we wanted to have the best quality in it, and I hope you agree. The box costs 400 lei, meaning something like 90 euros. It's available already here, so if you're interested, please buy and support the Romanian cinema. Tudor?
Thank you. First of all, I want really to say that without Mihai Kirilov, this project was not here. So I would like to thank Mihai. I remember our first meeting when we were all coming, I think 2 years ago, to Mr. Pintilie's house while talking about the Pintilie program and full retrospective here at the festival. So I think it was a sort of a good footer, and I think since then Mihai did a wonderful job, and I think without his energy and passion, this DVD box would have not been done. And on a very personal level, is a wonderful thing, because for all my activity, I think the moment or the period which was really the most important for me, not as much as a filmmaker, but as a human encounter and human experience, was like staying with Mr. Pintilie and assisting him for 8 months during the pre-production, the production, then the post-production of the film Too Late. And I still remember, and I forgot to bring the script of the film Too Late, which was still somehow not a very clean script. We were shooting in the coal mines in the area, in the Valea Jiului area, and there I noted some of the quotes from what Mr. Pintilie was telling me, and it was one which was really, in a way, important for my whole career, and it was the fact that it's important not to make compromises while you are not just on the film set, but also in your life, because in the moment when you're doing the first compromise on the film set, then it will be a continuous series of compromises with everybody, with the producer, with all the other people who are waiting the very little sign of your weakness as to then take advantage. So again, for me, was a lifetime changing experience. I want to thank Mr. Pintilie for what he gave me then, and we are very happy to host this event. Thank you.
And because everything started here 2 years ago when we mounted this complete retrospective of Mr. Pintilie, and he was here with us. The story continued last year in New York when the Romanian Cultural Institute in New York, in association with the Museum of Modern Art, organized actually in New York and later on in Chicago the complete retrospective of Pintilie's work. I'd like to have Corina Șuteu, who was back then the director of the Romanian Cultural Institute in New York, to tell you how this retrospective that was possible in Cluj traveled to New York, because it's a revealing story. Corina, if you can join me, please.
Thank you. I will be very brief and say how indeed honored and happy I am also to be here for this very, very round story of and beautiful story of this retrospective, complete retrospective of Lucian Pintilie's work. When the retrospective was presented at TIFF, the curator, senior curator of the Museum of Modern Art was here, and he saw Nikki and Flo and said, okay, I'll take this film to MoMA. And then back to New York, as soon as Mihai joined me, as always, for the Romanian Film Festival in autumn, I invited home Larry Cardish, the senior curator, and started convincing him that it would be useless to do only one film by Lucian Pintilie, because indeed the new wave owes him so much, and the Romanian cinema owes him so much. And I don't know what happened during that evening, but finally, the second day, he called me and he said, okay, I won't do one film, I'll do all the films, but I can only do it in either 3 months or 3 years. And I said, well, okay, 3 months, do I have the time to do this? But finally, I took that risk, so we said yes. Luckily, we said yes, because meanwhile, I left New York and the Romanian Cultural Institute in New York, and we did it. And for the opening, it was a full venue, and for all the rest of the evenings on Lucian Pintilie's films, everything was, all the shows were sold out. We had amazing reviews, and in fact, what Mihai presents as the retrospective in Chicago is that the Chicago Cinematheque, hearing how successful the MoMA show on Lucian Pintilie was, invited the whole show immediately. And then today we have this beautiful book with films. There are moments from MoMA, so for those of you who want to look at the bonus, there are moments that show how the opening in MoMA happened. I do believe also that both Tudor and Mihai had a key role in making this happen, and I am too very happy to have been an instrument of the destiny, so that the work of Lucian Pintilie can be shown to all the people that today want to see it in Romania. Thank you.
The complete retrospective in MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York decided to acquire the second film directed by Lucian Pintilie, which people considered a masterpiece. We're talking about reenactment that was acquired in a permanent collection of the Museum of Modern Art, which is an outstanding thing. I know there are here many collaborators that work with Mr. Lucian Pintilie, Silviu Stavile, the director of the photography. I've seen Șerban Pavlu, who played in Nikki and Flo and The Afternoon of a Torturer. I've seen Gabriel Stahiu, of course Luminița Gheorghiu, she's here, she was in this in practice today. And I'd like to invite them here. Maybe I forgot someone who ever worked with Mr. Pintilie and is here. Please join us here in front to have like a family album photo for the posterity. And there's one more thing I wanted to say. Yes, it's gonna be the screening at 6 o'clock in Cineast will be introduced by Cristi Puiu, who's gonna say a few words about Lucian Pintilie and his career. So please join us at the cinema, because you'll have an unforgettable experience. This 1 hour rare archive footage is gonna blow you away. Thank you. Come here for the picture. Șerban, Luminița, I don't know where are you. Luminița, unde ești?
Maestre, dar nu am putut să le văd. Am crezut că de ce am făcut de toată am învățat și n-am știut dimineața. Ca la criza aia pe care o veți
They could Are un gust letal, prea direct. Eu am alt mai.
Vreau să vă întreb dacă admirați pe cineva din noi,
surprinzător de rapid, ca produpere modelatoare. Și asta cu mare bucurie și mare plăcere. Dar